2020 Tantra, Crown Tantra, info in the description. So, existence is a reflection of insistence. And if you're resisting, that means you're trying. If you're resisting, that means there's a misappropriation of your energy. So whenever you resist, you're really resisting doing what you need to do to fulfill your heart or your soul, however you want to look at it. And upon resisting that expression, you're going to be forced to resist what fills the emotional voids that get generated from that misappropriation. So for example, instead of embracing the next step that brings your growth, if you go into a repetitive cycle that you feel like you know or you're comfortable with, instead of embracing what will fulfill you, you have to resist on both ends of the spectrum, because you're resisting the growth. Your energy's not going towards the growth, so then it goes towards the decay. So then you're going to have to resist the decay. You're going to have to resist the sick thoughts, the sick feelings, the sick actions, because you didn't express your potential. If you're in alignment, you just express your potential. You're not even trying to resist. There's no resistance at that point. You're in alignment. Alignment is creation. Creation is alignment. So whenever there's internal resistance, that means there's some type of guilt. That means the whole system isn't on the same page. So that means there's going to be some type of resistance at the beginning and some at the end. So if you resist expressing the true potency, which is pretty much the love within you, because alignment is love, allowing creation to flow through you is love. So as you do that, you will no longer need to resist all of the sick thoughts, because when you don't use your energy for your expression, then you have all this leftover energy, and it has to go towards something. So it eventually goes towards the decay. You're going to resist it the whole time, and you're going to hold that judgment. And judgment is so heavy that it goes from metaphysical to physical heaviness, and people begin to swell and bloat because of that metaphysical heaviness becoming physical. So if you resist the acceptance and the responsibility, energy is responsibility. If you resist that, accepting that, and allowing that energy to flow through you because of one trauma or another, then you won't be able to receive because you're not giving. And then since you didn't use the energy when it was available to you, the energy has to get eaten up. Whenever you take on more energy than you can process and metabolize, distribute, whatever, if you take on more than you can handle, then you just attract parasites to take it from you. Because this is a pressurized, energetic life that it's just perfect. It's a perfect grid that humans have made grids on top of, but this is a perfect energetic grid, perfect inhale, exhale life. So everybody's creating the same memory, really. There's only one memory. And honestly, the memory that's universal to all people is pretty much burning your hand. Everyone knows, anybody that can understand this language knows what being burnt feels like. So if you burn your hand, it's pretty much burning your hand on the fire of temptation. Temptation is the greatest gift. It teaches us what not to do, which in turn teaches us what we have to do. And when we're in alignment, we're just in acceptance, and what we do just happens like breathing. The poem writes the poem, the dancer is the dance. So everybody is creating the same memories, or the same one memory, from different angles. So when you have this concept of knowing, and you know the limit in which it takes until you get burned, then you continually reach and touch the stove, and you pull your hand back quicker and quicker because you know you're going to get burned. So that's basically the one memory. So a lot of people will get traumatized, and then as soon as they feel the warmth, they pull their hand back, just because the concept of pain that they've generated from the traumas. So this idea of knowing is pretty much, again, holding. Holding. If you look at anybody trying to hold on to illusion, that's what attachment is. Holding. So whenever you, because that's what, anything that ages you has to be in the past. Hate has to be in the past. You can't be hateful and be in the present. You have to be in a past trauma in your own mind to even be hateful. You have to be holding that. And that's what ages you. It's so heavy to hold. It's holding, understanding, getting under something to hold it. So when you repeatedly do something, you know the pain is imminent, as opposed to like innocently being subjected to the fire. When you're innocently subjected to it, you always have that moment of, I can move my hand, because you were innocent in a sense. If you touch the stove and you don't even know what fire or burning is, that initial touch isn't going to burn. It takes that second for the pain language to reach the brain and everything, and for the system to realize, like, we can't do this. This is painful to the system. But once you have experienced that and you continually touch it, then your conditioned response is, the pain is coming, the pain is coming. So then it's a shorter and shorter leash, because life has to change. So it's a short, you know, people pretty much are going to just go as far as they can with the experiences that they feel like they know, until it hurts too bad, and then step back from the fire, and then reach and go back into the fire and go as far as they can until it, they reach that threshold again. So it's basically people repeating the same experience, trying to recreate the same memory instead of rearranging the ingredients. So, eventually, after years is getting as far as you can with the pain direction, you're just gonna quit at the warmth, and then you lose all the perception of love, because you're quitting at the warmth way before you even get to the fire. So that's pretty much what happens. Some even get so traumatized at just the visual of fire. And this is what I mean as far as like traumas in general. It's not, the fire is just a metaphor here. So breathe more, and whatever you can't not do will show itself. And realize that when you eat, it stimulates you and tricks you into thinking that you have more energy for eating. But every inhale has an exhale. Everything that gives takes equally. Food reminds you of your energy. So as you go through your life and you're reminded of the alignment, you don't want to be redundant in your reminders. You don't want to play the same music. You don't want to do the same things at the same times in the day and during your circadian rhythm. It has to be a change of ingredients, or things become redundant and dull and measured. And as soon as your movements become measured, you are dead. Living in the now is total acceptance.